Who can vote?
Okay, right now in the United States, anyone who's over 18 years old, who's a citizen, who's registered to vote, and who's not a convicted felon. In other words, you have no serious crimes in your background.
Who should vote?
Okay, to be a good voter, you should be a knowledgeable voter. In other words, you should know something about the candidates and the issues that you're voting for. Now that implies that you've lived in an area for a certain period of time. For example, if you just moved here from Chicago last week, you really don't know much about what's important to Tempe or Arizona voters. So you're not really the best voter if you're just a brand new resident. Okay. The state also wants you to be a registered voter, and that's to keep track of who's voting, right? And maybe how many times you're voting. Right now, you're only allowed to vote once.
Is it possible to cheat?
Well, there's several different ways that you can cheat, and a lot of that has to do with who controls the voting list, the list of names of registered voters. There's three things that are happening in the United States now that probably will make it easier to cheat. And the first one of those is just computer voting. Instead of going down to the church or the school and filling out a ballot, you could just vote online. Well, we don't know exactly who's pounding the keys for your vote. It may be you, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, and there's almost no way to prove it, who actually filled out your online ballot. Okay, the other issue is absentee ballots or early mail-in ballots. Now, once again, these are only supposed to be sent out to registered voters, right? But we don't know actually who's filling out the ballot. It could be that registered voter died last year, and it's some kind of friend or relative who picked up the ballot, who's filling it out and sending it back in. It could also be organized political groups who happen to know the names of these invalid voters who are still on the voting list. Okay? And so we can't have the cat voting. So we have to be a little more careful about who's on the voting list and who's actually getting a copy of the ballot.